What's that?
What's your forefather before the conquistadors, right? Taínos, right? Taínos, right? Like the Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
Okay, right? So why are we called Dominican today?
Because they fucking changed the name of the fucking land that I fucking was born in.
Absolutely. Now your people's depressed. White people come in there and chill and get big, and they can move to Miami and say that they Dominican. You know what I mean? That type of stuff too, right? So these are things that our people face. Our people face the oppression of the colonialists because, why do you think?
They show up and took over. I mean, I don't know.
They show up and took over. I don't know. It's a good answer, right? So that's what we provide here. We provide Black and Hispanic history. We give a biblical answer as to why these things are happening, right? Did you know that Dominicans was on slave ships the same way as so-called Black people? You know that? Did you know they was taken to Europe, the Taínos?
No.
Did you know Taínos was taken out here on slave ships to work the sugarcane fields? Right, these are things that was written in the Bible. You ever heard that? You ever read that? You got 2 minutes?
Man, shit.
Good. I'm gonna show you something, right? You familiar with Moses at all?
Moses?
Yeah.
I've heard the name.
Moses in the Bible?
Yeah, I've heard the name.
Freed his people from Egypt, right? The Hebrews. Right? He definitely in Deuteronomy 20 verse 15. Right? So what Moses did is he took his people, the Israelites, the Hebrews, right? And he freed them from slavery by the mighty hand of God, and brought them towards their land. Right? He brought them out, took them to the wilderness, and he taught them the commandments. You familiar with the commandments? There you go. It was more, but everybody's familiar with that summary of commandments, right? So this is what he said to them, his people, before he was going to bring them to the promised land, right? Listen good to this. What's your name, bro? Luis. I'm Ithiel. Good to meet you. All right? Watch this.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 15. But it shall come to pass that thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
He's telling his people that if you don't observe these commandments that I've been teaching you, curses is going to come upon your people and overtake you. All right? Yeah, give me verse 49. I'm gonna show, this is a whole big long chapter. Give me verse 32 real quick. It's a whole big long chapter of curses, right? But these are things that he prophesied to. But now that we're in 2021, these things have come to pass already, and they're now history, right? So I want you to listen good, right?
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Then I have the Taínos, right? Our children was taken and given to another people, and we could not get them back, right? Remember I told you, some of them was taken on slave ships and brought to Europe, brought to Hawaii, right? We don't.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
And there was nothing. I said, well, why did this happen? He said, just came and took over, right? There's no might in our hand to fight back and to get our people. Now, is this happening today? Absolutely. At the border, right? We got Haitians, we got Mexicans, we got El Salvadorians at the border being lassoed up like this is the 1800s, right? And getting put in prison. The children is missing, right? The children is getting sexually assaulted, and we can't do nothing. We know what's happening, right? We know what's happening, but what can we do? Anybody say, hey, you know what? Let's go over there and let's stop this right now. This is unconstitutional. Anybody doing that? It's just happening to us because they bringing out Afghani people. America been at war with them. They in hotels. They getting stipends and money and stuff. All right? Did you know that?
No.
Nah. See, we gotta learn. We gotta get involved. Right? They're bringing people that they've been at war with for 21 years, and they're bringing them over here in hotels and setting them up nice. Right? They do that with the Russians too. Right? You from New York at all?
No, I'm from Boston. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, they do that. Russians come in here. They use welfare and they create businesses. We use welfare and they say that we bums. Right? Read verse 49. This is more curses that happen to our people, but it's in the Bible. You ever been to church?
Yeah.
They're not gonna read this.
So why does it continue to happen to our people?
That's what we read. All right, so we're gonna get this and we're gonna explain that again because we told you. All right, but we're gonna rewind. All right, listen to this.
Verse 49.
Remember, this is history now. Go ahead.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth,
One side of the earth.
as swift as the eagle fly.
What's the symbol of America? What's the symbol of Spain? The eagle. Yeah. They all white people. Yeah. The Bible's telling you who it's going to be. Read.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Did Taínos understand Spanish before the conquistadors came? You know?
Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance,
They was mean, they was fierce. Go ahead.
which shall not regard the person of the old,
The caciques, go ahead. The elders, they didn't care. They killed them the same way. Go ahead.
nor show favor to the young.
The children, they don't care either. They'll kill them all. That it?
Verse 51.
Read this, watch.
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land.
Right? All that land, right? He said, this is mine now. You know?
Until thou be destroyed.
Until now, you call Dominicans. You're not Tainos no more. Not Caribs, not Arawak, none of that stuff. You're Dominican, which means dog of the Lord for them. That's what that means. Right? So you said, why did this happen? Why does it continue to happen? Let's go back to verse 15. Watch, because we said it earlier, but now we're going to bring it home full circle. Read.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken
Hearken means to listen. Right?
unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments.
All his what?
All his commandments
Good.
and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So, why did this happen, Louis?
Not listening, not doing the commandments. Okay.
Absolutely. So now we have in our communities, we get pushed in our community, there's all kind of debauchery. Our music just teaches the sex of our women, not marry them, kill each other, use drugs, and go turn up in the club right over there. That's what's aimed at us. None of these things is keeping the commandments, right? The Lord said keep the Sabbath day, Sabado, right? When's the Sabado? When's Sabado?
Tomorrow. So it started today.
Right, this is technically right. Starting now, right? Right, that's the Sabbath in the 10 Commandments, right? But when do we go to church? What? See? Why do we do that? Right? Who taught us this? Who taught us this? The conquistadors, right? You want to know why? Give verse 1. Read verse 1. Let's show you why. Let's show you why they continue to teach us how to kill each other, teach us how to use drugs, teach us how to not marry our women, teach us that marrying white women is leveling up. You understand? This is why. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken.
So now this is different, Louis. I'm saying if you will listen,
If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So what happens if we do keep the commandments? He's going to set us on high above all nations upon the face of the earth. Have you ever imagined that Dominicans, like literally, their nation is on top of everybody else? Right? That doesn't even compute. We want everybody to be equal because that's what we was taught in their public schools. That's what we was taught in their churches, right? But God said, if you keep my commandments, I'm gonna bring you up above everybody else. So Chinatown, that's right around here, right, is gonna be ours. You understand? Chinatown, right? You been to Chinatown before? Right? Chinatown is illegal. They got all kind of legal immigrants, right? They got all kind of gambling, massage parlors. Everybody knows this, right? Nobody ever shuts down Chinatown. Ever.
Why is that?
Because we are the ones that's cursed. Give me verse 29. Let me show you. All right? Verse 29.
What do you mean we are the ones that's cursed?
We are the ones that don't listen to God. He was speaking to the Israelites, not speaking to everybody on earth. He was speaking to the people of Israel. Get that right now, right? He was speaking to the people that he brought out of Egypt. He said, you familiar with it? Let my people go?
Yeah.
He was speaking to his people. God has one particular nation that's retained. You descend from that nation, right? But your whole life, the conquistadors, as a Dominican, you've learned that you're just a Dominican. You have no relation to this God. This is literally your history. We was reading things from our history, right? Read it.
Verse 29.
Yo, listen good. This is why it only happens to us.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness.
That means we're not gonna know what to do. At noonday it's bright, but we walking around like we blind. That's how we move through life. Go ahead.
And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled
What it
evermore.
means robbed. Like the Dominican Republic is very rich in resources, but we don't benefit from that. Go ahead.
And no man shall save thee.
And no man shall save you. That means you're not gonna have no resistance fighter. You're not gonna have no revolutionary to succeed for what y'all need. Give me Amos 3. Now listen good, right? You said why it don't happen to them, right?
It's the book of Amos chapter 3 and verse 1. Hear this word, the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Who's he speaking to, Luis? That's what he's always speaking to in his Bible. Right? When we go to church, we learn, it's everybody. We read the Bible, children of Israel. Read.
Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt.
That's what we read in Deuteronomy 28. He was speaking to the family that he brought up out of Egypt. Go ahead.
Saying, you only have I known. You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
So out of everybody on earth, who's God saying that he knows? That's how the Bible is, right? Read.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
So you wonder why nothing happens to the other nations like it happens to us? Because God is our God. Right. He says, I'm going to punish you. You have children? Right? So if your children is out there on the street playing with cigarettes or whatever with other kids, you're going to go get your kids. And you're going to discipline them. The other kids, they be like, whatever. That's not my kids. God is the same way. I only know you, so I'm going to punish you. You understand?
God damn.
Exactly. Shit. You good? This is important, right? So that now we learn the things that we've never learned before. Right? You still got your flyer?
I do. This is right here.
Open it up real quick, right? Because these are things that we have not learned, right? If you look here, right, all the Americans, right? All the Americans right here, we find Hebrew artifacts all the time, right? We have the Los Lunar Stone. We have this artifact here. We have pyramids throughout the United States. And they got one in Puerto Rico now. They just found a couple years ago, right? So these are all artifacts that we know the Israelites had, right? The Israelites spoke Hebrew, and the Israelites is building pyramids for the Egyptians, right? But we find these same things in the Americas. Why is that? And how come you don't see it on the news? How come nobody tells? It's not in your library? But these are all things that you can find. The Los Lunar Stone, the Back Creek Stone, all these things is Hebrew artifacts that our forefathers left. Right? But now they just tell you a nigga, you a spick, and you should listen to rap music and go to the strip club. Right?
See, you're speaking to the right motherfucking person, because I don't follow any of this. I walk around seeing the debauchery and just seeing how people choose over and over to self-indulge. So I don't participate. I literally walk around, like, you found me at the right spot. That's why I'm listening, because I'm like walking around and just kind of searching for answers. Like, how the fuck did this fucking happen?
30 and 20 real quick.
Like,
good.
how did this?
So now you kind of getting answers. This is why it happens. We've come down very low, right? And everybody else has come down very high. Right? Teachers, and the teachers not here.
Yep.
Read this real quick. Watch this, please.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity.
That's what our people are going through. We've been eating adversity for a long time. Go ahead.
And the water of affliction.
We've been facing affliction for a long time. Go ahead.
Yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner
but
anymore.
Now our teachers is not hidden no more. We out here walking around. We know our people's going to be at. Right? So now we're coming to you, Louise. We're meeting you at nighttime in damn near in the alley. You understand? To teach you the good word. That's what we're here to do, right? Now the thing is, we can't just let that sit, right? We gotta build. We gotta have structure. We gotta read, research. When you go home tonight, you should be reading that. Get your Bible, right? Read it. We got videos. We out here. You understand? How long you been in Hawaii?
About 2.5 years.
2.5 years. Right? We've been out here, right? If you look here, we're on all social media platforms, right? Instead of watching Netflix tonight, you should be watching what we putting out. And we all over the place, right? So we building our people back up with God's laws, statutes, and commandments, because that's the only way that he's going to fight for us. Remember, he said, I'll put you above everybody else. The same way he put us very low. Remember, you said, I don't know how the conquistadors did it. It's God. It was God that did it, right? Because we ain't listen. Now, if we do listen, he's going to put us above everybody else. We got to change our mind. It's not just that we don't indulge, right, in those things, but we have to indulge in what the Most High God told us to do. So we should be keeping Sabbath. Right? You know what to do on the Sabbath day? Yeah. Right? That's in the Ten Commandments. That's why you got to come learn too. Right? There's a way to keep the Sabbath day holy. Right? And that's in the Ten Commandments. Get it real quick, and then you go on.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day.
This is a commandment. When he said to remember it, right? Go ahead.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
So you got 6 days to get all your money, do all what you got to do. Go ahead.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger
Your
that are within thy
family
gate.
or your employees got to shut it down for the Sabbath day. It's a holiday, right? You know how like on Thanksgiving, nothing was open? That ain't got nothing to do with us. But that's how we got to operate for our Sabbath day. Right? Everything shut down, right? But here we are on the beginning of the Sabbath day, and they open up the clubs, so all of our people can go there and commit wickedness and not keep the commandments. If we not keeping the commandments and we at the bottom, that means Chinatown can stay at the top, white man can stay at the top, and we gonna stay in the projects. All right? So it's good information to know, right? We gotta come together and we gotta build, right? They don't want black and brown to be together because they've spent so much time dividing us that we don't understand we're the same people. Because these curses identify who we are. This a nation from far coming from one end to the earth, swift as the eagle, eating up all the cattle. That's very specific. That's very specific, right? That's exactly right. So now we can't look at that and ignore it. We got to do something. All right? Time is wasted. You see the end of the world coming. We got plagues and all kind of stuff going on. And people still going to the strip. All right? It's the end. They got nuclear bombs ready to pop off. We can't waste no more time. All right? Do your research, Luis. All right?
I will, man.
Contact us. We're gonna be here. We're gonna be keeping the Sabbath tomorrow. If you want to learn more, contact us. All right?
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good night, man.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.